Wow, I'm really not good at this. Hello, my name is Dan Johnson IV. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of this video is to prove to myself that I can get through one video on my own, alone, and successfully upload it to YouTube. It might sound like a simple goal to many people. There are tons of great content creators out there putting themselves in front of the camera for the whole world to see. And it's really amazing, and it is a great achievement. But this new endeavor is a way of me challenging myself to get in front of the camera and deliver content. Hopefully, I'm going to be successful at it. I say hopefully because I think a lot of it with YouTube, it's gauged, many things are gauged by views, likes, subscribers. Fortunately enough, I have channels where I have a fair amount of subscribers, and I don't think that's a huge challenge. You deliver content that people enjoy, and I think the subscribers, the likes, and the views will follow. But putting myself in front of the camera is something that I've consciously tried to avoid. It's just been my approach to working with YouTube, not just YouTube, but social media in general. I did start out putting up pictures and, portraits and photos and family things on Facebook and such, and slowly gravitated to Instagram. And I never really touched on Twitter, but I might get into that a little bit later. This is pretty much my first attempt to deliver content with me being primary content deliverer, or the primary focus of the camera. Again, this is something new to me. I know there are tons of content creators out there that do this on a daily basis, and they're doing a wonderful job. But I think for me, I'm attempting to step out of my comfort zone because I love computers, I love tech, and I love all of the gadgets and everything that's involved in creating content, from the computer, from the software to the hardware. It's really amazing. And it's part of the reason why I love living in Japan, to be honest with you. I have access to pretty much everything, anything under the sun. And I try my best to collect and gather a lot of those toys and gadgets. Most of it has been for my own personal use, my own hobby use, and it has been a wonderful thing. I've been very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be able to enjoy some of the wonderful tech equipment, toys, I call them, that we've got available to us. And looking forward to the better stuff coming in the future. But more on that later. But yeah, this is my attempt to try and deliver content with me being the primary focus of the camera. It's something new to me. I'm not really a camera person. I'm not really 100% comfortable in front of the camera, but I know once I put this content out there to the world, then it's kind of like your digital footprint, right? It's there and it should be available, and hopefully I'll be able to look back on this and see some growth and improvement. After I've lived in Japan for over 20 years, and I've been teaching English for probably about half of that. I say teaching English full time, probably for about half of that time. And I've sat in front of thousands of students, thousands of hours teaching, trying to help students improve their life through English and study. It's been interesting. I've really enjoyed working with a variety of students. Some students have been more challenging than others, but for the most part, I've really enjoyed my time teaching English in Japan. I came to Japan to enjoy the car culture. I was really hoping to live the fast and furious life. And in most parts, I can honestly say I've enjoyed it to its fullest. From tuning and tweaking, from buying and selling automobiles, vehicles, sports cars, construction equipment. That opened the door to me doing business in East Africa and eventually starting a small company there in Tanzania. It's still operating and we're still doing some great things. It has been really fulfilling. And with that, I kind of get to the gist of this channel, the Rebirth. I've been working in Japan, teaching English in Japan, doing automobile export, imports in Japan. I've not really shared my experience in Japan, my experiences in Japan, to anyone outside of my very small, close-knit circle. And again, me being in front of the camera is one step towards hopefully sharing some of these experiences. Hopefully this channel will help you, from my point of view, know a little bit more about Japan, living in Japan, working in Japan, and lucky for me, thriving in Japan, because I think as a young adult up until my current age, I have really been very fortunate, and I have thrived, literally thrived in Japan. And I believe most of it is due to some of the great connections I've made, some of the wonderful lessons I've learned, some of the great people I've worked with. And I can't find any real concrete complaint that's unique to Japan. I believe some of the issues that one might have in your home country, me being from the United States, Texas, I think some of the same issues that I would have back home, I think you would have some of those same issues here in Japan. So I can't pinpoint a specific reason, a specific area where, oh no, I just can't live here anymore, or I'm just sick of this and I really have to go home. This is just my personal opinion. I think there are similar issues anywhere in the world. It's just a matter of how are you going to manage, how are you going to deal with them, and is it of a severity where you need to pack up and go. Fortunately enough for me, I have not come to a point where I feel that I need to just pack up and go. I came to Japan initially for the JDM culture and Samurai Ninja. I'm not a big anime fan. I have come to like some anime, but I'm not a huge anime fan. And it wasn't an initial reason for me to come to Japan. But I have come to like more anime. I've come to like more the manga and art. And I've really enjoyed being so close to the origin of, I say origin, as far as I know, the origin of anime. So with this COVID-free time, I started another company about that life. It does have that rough edge to it, but I'm about that life in Japan. And I think that's, to me, is key. I have been here for over 20 years, and I have never really shared my life with anyone outside of my circle. And I have a very small circle. And part of that is because I'm really just a shy guy. I mean, I do my thing. I'm not in the streets. I'm kind of down low like a ninja. And I like that. I like going undercover. I like being low key. I love not being out in the open. It's comfortable for me. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of content. I've seen a lot of articles. I've seen a lot of different views. And I thought that it didn't really match with what I've been experiencing in Japan. And so that's it. I started my company about that life in Japan. One, to supplement my business in Tanzania. Yes, we're still doing business in Tanzania. Still have the tech school in Tanzania. About that life is hopefully going to be able to share some of these experiences. I'm hoping to share some of my experiences in Japan and, just help someone else be about that life in Japan. This is coming from Galveston, Texas. If anyone knows Galveston, it's a small little island in Texas. And growing up in Texas with a huge melting pot of cultures, it's pretty diverse. For me, about that life is, whatever your life is, whatever you are doing, however you are living, if you're happy with it, if you're comfortable with it, if you're thriving with it, then you're about that life. And I have been about that life in Japan. happy, I'm comfortable, I'm thriving. And for me, it's just been a blast. I could not ask for a better life. Has it been challenging? Yes, extremely. Was the language tough? Yes, extremely. Is it still tough? Yes, extremely. But I mean, that's life, right? Yeah. And it's been a blast. From learning, from failing multiple times, from still traveling, from waking up and learning something new every day. And I think that's a very important key. I have been very lucky to be in an environment where I can get up and go out, get out of bed, and learn something new every day. I try to do that, and I hope that you do too. It's something I think is very important. Knowledge is power, and I think that is a part of what we are, where we are. We're in a point in the world where we have access to so many tools, from really expensive to reasonable. There's literally no excuse and no reason why you cannot start something new, or you cannot explore and improve upon something you've been doing in your life. There's no reason. There's no reason other than, and I think that's where this, myself being in front of the camera as well, this has been the block. Again, this is a Canon EOS 5D Mark IV. It's not the best camera in the world, but it's more than enough for putting my face on YouTube and saying, hey, I'm about that life in Japan. It's, it doesn't have to be the best camera. It doesn't have to be the most expensive camera. It doesn't have to be the best equipment, lighting, the perfect time. You just have to do it. And hopefully someone else can feel comfortable and saying, you know what, hey, that dude in Japan did it. Why the heck can't I? Because that's why I'm here.